Okay.
Hello, welcome to the stream. It's Tuesday night again already, and we are back.
I gotta move this laptop. I just noticed something.
Oh.
I can't see well.
We made some improvements in the stream. Well, they were intended to be improvements, but hopefully they proved to be so. When you're moving around this many moving parts, mistakes happen. I had to reboot multiple times because the microphone was
Microphone's
clicking.
being
It was clicking. We had that problem one time where it would click when you weren't talking, or so I don't think it's doing that. When the light flashes, it makes me very nervous. But when you stop talking, the light should. Okay.
So if anybody hears any clicking or audio problems, please let us know.
Same with video quality problems along the way of the stream. And so I am Kim of Kim Fixes Things. You can check out my channel on YouTube, and we're here with your host, Buff Del Campo of this Buff Del Campo channel. And we are live at 7 Central Time, just about every Tuesday. If we're ever going to need to take off, we will leave a link in the community. It's not called community.
They changed it from community to posts.
So if we're ever not here when you expect to see us, there'll probably be information about why. Oh my, everyone's filing in quickly. But let me get through the introduction. So our Tuesday night stream is a little different. We have a green screen, so it looks like we're in different places, and we can go and look at different cars and different things along the way. We're learning those tools, and it's lots of fun. And it's more visually entertaining because I'll try and bring up pictures of the things that we're talking about so you can see. And we will be regularly talking to the chat. So if you're watching in the future and you don't understand who we're talking to or what we're talking about, there is a chat that plays during our YouTube broadcast, and we like to interact because this is community time. It is not the same as our regular long-form videos when we actually get around to making those. So hopefully you're here and ready to enjoy. We have very little planned, but lots of things to do. Like we have tons to get through, but no plans on how we're going to do it because we just kind of roll it off our sleeve, the cuff, I don't know what we're doing, but let's go through the list of people because people...
Hang on.
Oh.
I have a question.
Okay.
I'm looking at this and the audio seems like it's not matched up with the video. But that may be just locally here in this studio. So if anybody sees that, please let us know. Go ahead, Kim.
Okay. Mexican Spec also has a question. Yeah, you know what? Little flyaway hairs, they do pull the green screen out.
What's this?
Tavo says the green screen is giving a lovely green glow.
See, and I'm drinking something tonight that's not green. So
that's my halo because I am an angel.
We're going to talk about when we have on your otherwise. Oh, who cares? I mean, I'm sure something's happened out there that you guys bring up, and then we'll talk about it, whatever.
Okay, Tavo is halfway around the world and says that
it's perfectly aligned.
So we're
so
on.
It's perfectly aligned in Australia. It's probably good here.
They're at a bar in Knoxville, and we like it because it have all these license plates. And we like license.
You can swap to that picture. You wanted me to bring pictures up, so I brought a picture up.
Yeah, we'll go to something a little more.
Oh, and Danny Boyd's here. Oh, yeah, and you got to go through everybody. I'm jumping the...
No, that's okay. Let's start saying hello to people who have gotten here early just to be along for the ride as always. Buff Del Campo was here. Wait, you're here. Tavo got here early and has been floating around. Mexican Spec, our moderator, is here. Thank you for being here, as always, Mexican Spec. Dented Dreams Garage is here. Hello, Dented Dreams Garage. 6th Street Garage is here. He says, howdy all. Welcome to the stream. And Danny Boyd is here.
Danny Boyd, haven't seen you in a couple of weeks.
Alum is here early in the stream, and we only just got started. So,
of course, we were 2 minutes late, but Yeah.
I was 2 minutes
We
late.
were scrambling at the last minute, as
I
usual.
spent an hour in the studio moving around lights, putting up some sound editing. I don't know if you can compare to some of the other streams you watch, but I like to have a nice dead sound in the room so we don't get a lot of
Echo.
metallic sound from our voices. I hope that I'm achieving that because we have lots of blankets and pillows and all kinds of things tacked to the walls and whatever, so that for us to trip over. And oh,
What's wrong?
you've been rained out. I'm hot,
You're
but that's
hot.
okay. I got a magazine.
A magazine?
The Haggerty Drivers Club.
That's a
magazine, and it is my fan.
We need
right
a
now.
fan. Oh, I bet the
this
fan's
wrist
up in the.
hurts.
Bet the fan's up in the shop.
I stoved this wrist. I don't know if I fell on it or pushed too hard on a wrench, but it has been sore for 3 days straight.
Oh, and
4 days,
I did
5
something
days.
terrible. My neck was itching, and I was
Oh, we're
scratching
falling
it,
apart.
scratching it while I was sleeping, and I knew it. And then when I wake up, I'm all red, and it looks terrible. I'm
He's
sorry.
very self-conscious.
I'm very
about his red
self-conscious
shin.
about this redness because it comes and goes, and I get it all healed up, and then it's back again.
Lester LeSabre is here. Welcome to the stream. Well, sometimes a rainout day is a good time to catch up on laundry and what else? Bills. I paid some bills. I pay paper bills. I opened up the envelope. This is like a hard thing for me. Do not have this executive function typically, but I had a day when I wasn't working, so I opened bills and I looked at them and I typed in the website address and put in my credit card information and gave them my money. Mostly medical bills.
Makeup can cover the redness. Well, here I had a choice. Put the medicine on there that'll help heal it, or put makeup on that'll help cover it up and make it worse. So I decided to put the medicine on to make it better instead of covering it up. So sorry about that.
We haven't gotten to the level of professionalism where we're doing makeup yet. I mean, I put a little bit of makeup on for a stream so we look nice, but
It depends. When you're in the shop, you don't, but here you do. No
Yeah.
rain here today in winter, but forecast some for the rest of the week. Very windy though. Yeah, that's right. You're winter down there, and that's not my favorite season. So I like spring and summer and maybe fall, but I really like spring, summer.
Mexican spec, we cannot hang laundry outside here because we are in a rural place with lots of precipitation, and you will bring bugs in the house. You can't put out a line. I would like to. I like stuff that's line dried.
And
can't do it here.
You put dry stuff out there and hang it up, it's gonna be wet.
You know, we walk out of the house an hour or two after we all just came in, and we're going through spider webs because the insects are just prolific here.
Yeah, it's like we just have like a couple of flowers that are growing up almost my height. I'll walk between those, and man, I hung by spider webs, and we just walked through there. Like we'll come down from the shop, we'll be here for a few minutes, walking back up the shop. There's already spider webs. I can't believe it. How do they do this?
Rick from RC Industry is
RC,
here.
how you doing?
Welcome to the stream. Rick is potentially going to come in for a visit the end of this week.
What?
Saturday?
Oh, it's the end of this week. Oh yeah, it's coming right up.
We're looking forward to that. I'm going to have Rick. We're going to have him do his. I'd like to have him bring his salesman persona and sell off some of these cars and trucks. We'll line them up. He can sell them all.
So I said, line them up like
We're
a car
slashing
lot.
prices.
Line them up like a car lot and let Rick go.
I mean, I counted. Do you know how many vehicles with rubber tires are on this? I didn't count the mini bikes. I didn't count the trailers. I was trying to count how many tires we have to maintain because we made a tire short, and I thought we have a lot of tires, and we have like 17 rolling things with at least 4 tires.
Yeah, hanging stuff up to dry it. I got spoiled in Arizona because I would wash jeans, and jeans take forever to dry, and I'd hang them up just bend a hanger and stick it through two belt loops, hang it up inside my garage with the door open on the garage so the sun's not on it. 20 minutes, they'd be dry. So, I mean, they'd really be dry. So here it'd be, what, 2 days and they'd still be humid. RC industry 49, 95, 95.
Oh no, I was thinking about buying numbers for you so we could put them on the
Oh,
windshield.
geez.
Maybe we'll just use soap. But
The cars we have are not that expensive.
that's the thing, right? You got a whole range. Because that white Dodge truck with the long bed, I would sell that for,
Be careful. You might get more than you think.
I mean, less. Less than 4. And it doesn't have no rust. It's got a big dent in the side. Needs some work.
The dent doesn't hurt its ability to be a truck. It isn't that deep. It's just like a gouge in one
Yeah,
side.
and if somebody were from up north and they looked at how rust-free the body and frame is, they would be like, wow. So maybe I could sell it. If it wasn't here, it would be worth a lot. Shoe polish for the numbers on the windshield. Oh, I got to get a shoe polish. I wonder if I can get that from Amazon.
What's this shoe polish? Oh, shoe polish.
Like the kind you use to mark the window at the track.
Ah. Are you really that hot?
Oh, I'm breaking a sweat. I'm sorry. Is this really distracting?
I don't know. I'm like
okay now.
I'm not hot at all. This is like very normal.
I am having
Yeah, you
experiencing feminine hot flashes. It's fun. We're not going to talk about it beyond that, except that I get really hot and then I'm cold. I'm really hot and then I'm cold.
She'll have the AC on in the shop, and I'll be down here and I'll walk up there and walk in there and it's so cold. Like, why do you have this so cold? I turn it off and like a minute later she's going, I'm turning it back on. Really?
Oh, you're bringing the Oldsmobile 98. Very nice.
What year's the Olds 98? I haven't seen it. I should be watching all this.
It's like an 80s car. It's very, very nice looking survivor car. So, that would be neat to see.
All supermarket sells it, Kim. Oh, the
shoe polish? I wonder if it comes off windshields easy though.
Everything comes off windshields easy. Except, yeah, everything does.
Okay.
Because they're so hard and smooth. Just take a razor blade. Or just wipe it off.
Or we could just leave them dirty and then it'll barely stick in the first place. Perfect.
So let's see. What else is going on? We've been up there we didn't spend as many. We did 8 days in a row, and then we didn't do so many days in a row up there. Or at least we didn't go live so much. We were live yesterday, I guess.
Well, that's the thing, right? Is there's a lot of people who are in here tonight who didn't get to talk to us last night. We started late last night, and we didn't go for very long, so.
70 Monte Carlo. Man, I had a 72 Monte Carlo, which same body as that. That's a car I really miss. And mine is just a stock except, you flip the air cleaner over. make
Dented
it
Dreams, a 70 Monte Carlo is a beautiful car.
Love those cars. Yep. Man, why did I ever get rid of that Monte Carlo?
Well,
I remember why. Somebody offered me a lot of money for it, which is a lot at the time. And, yeah, there you go. It's a first gen. I like the blue one.
I like the front end of that car. It has nice lines.
Well, they're nice to drive. They're really nice to drive. And there's enough room in the engine compartment. You can put a V12 anything in there. It's like a fan shroud that's this long between the radiator and the engine because the engine's so small.
I wonder why they made it so long.
Well, it looked cool. That was the thing. Long hood, short deck, looked luxurious. I mean, that was the style then.
Oh, so yesterday it was, with the help of making shorts pretty much every day for the last 48, 49, 50 days. Buck Del Campo's channel has collected 800 subscribers, which...
What am I at now? Oops, I went to the wrong place.
Which is an interesting milestone. I don't know...
I'm at 808 right now.
I don't really know what that translates to in the world of things. Our community grows very... it's very slow. We get 1 or 2 new people in a week at the most. like real people who we like learn who they are and stuff like that. Like there's people who we never get to see who they are. We don't get to meet them. They don't show up in chat, but they subscribe and they don't comment. We don't know how that works, but the channel is growing, which feels good at least. It feels like it's a nice not reassurance, but anyways, it feels nice to see growth because stagnation is the opposite of growth. Um, so, cars we regret selling, yeah.
Yep. Oh, there's a bunch of them too. I remember when I sold that Monte Carlo, it had a brand new interior in it because I got it from a guy that he was an ag student and he kept sheep in it. So you can
He
imagine.
kept sheep in the car.
So you can imagine how bad that smelled and everything. I took it to a friend of mine in his upholstery shop and he did all vinyl, but it was real thick, soft vinyl. It felt like leather. And that car was really nice. And this couple came in, this man had got out, young couple, and this woman has this little baby that's probably a couple weeks old. She's holding the baby, and they're driving a 68 Ford Galaxy. And the 68 Ford Galaxy had no upholstery in it. They were sitting on the springs. There were just no upholstery. And they looked at that Monte Carlo, and they took it for a ride and came back. Now we want it. Will you take the Ford in on trade? And I gave them $100 off on the Monte Carlo, and I took the Ford. Well, it was a driving car. It was a piece of crap, but had a 302 and a C4 in it, and yeah, I gave him $100 for it. I remember that. At the time, that was probably a good deal for the engine anyway. And they drove off the Monte Carlo, so I was glad to see him have it. But I miss the car, you know. What do I have here?
And then the other car we talked about just now, Mexican Spec was talking about his 63 Fury. That's a cool looking car. I like that too.
Yeah, I'm looking at all this.
Junkyard had seats for the Galaxy. Not necessarily. This was out west, and
Well, I was in
sun burns them up.
I was in California, and at the time that 302 and automatic were. Well, you got to remember, 68 Galaxies are not a piece of crap, no matter how bad they were. Well, yeah, but this is a different time, man. That was probably 1978, 1979.
It was just an old used car.
It was just an old used car that was
mostly
beat to
worn
crap.
out, yeah.
And they were everywhere, so they weren't worth.
It wasn't anything special.
It was nothing special. It'd be like a 2013 car today with the upholstery.
In 78, that
missing.
was 40 some years ago.
Oh.
And the reason they're special now is because 40 some years sends a lot of them to their grave, and the ones that are left hopefully have been kept.
Yeah, and that's why I'm talking about it now, is because it was, now it is something. Then it wasn't.
They were probably in the junkyard, but at the time it wasn't even worth digging his seat out because the car was old and used. You could buy new cars. I mean, now a new car is like a substantial investment. You're going to be spending the next 5 to 7 years making payments, big payments, and paying premium insurance cost for a new car with payments. You're going to be paying a big chunk, like percentage of your income. Whereas at that time, cars were just practical machines. They weren't built to last as, like, it was just acceptable. Like, well, this one's worn out, let's get another one. And there'll always be more another ones. So it wasn't like there was a reason to cling to it. It was a different time.
Yeah, it was a different time. Be like getting all excited, like I say, like an 11-year-old something today, 11-year-old unexciting car. Yeah, small block Ford in a Galaxy with no upholstery and no AC and just a car, It's like nobody cared about that thing.
Even if you knew that this car is someday going to be something really special, you would have had to house and feed it for the next 40 some years for it to continue to be something special. Look at all the cars that people drag out of fields. They're not special anymore. They're a mess. And they need thousands of hours worth of work to bring them back, which it's really amazing once they're brought back. But who has the space? Who has the money? Who
That's
has
the
the
thing.
time?
I always think about that, and that's what Kim always tells me. And where were you going to put those cars?
Right.
Well, I moved from
Can't
job
keep
to
them all.
job all over the place and had apartments and where you're allowed one car and all this kind of nonsense. And then I got to move them all over the country. Yeah, you just can't do
If
it.
you would have just taken the money that it would cost to house and feed that car over the 40 years and put it in a vaguely profitable investment, you would be way further ahead than the storage and the maintenance. Plus, it still needs revived after sitting all that time. You just go buy exactly what you need already done.
Well,
So,
what Talo says here, same thing here. Back in the 70s, same thing here. 10 years old was an older car the poor family would drive. 20 years old was what a school kid would be given as a project. Older than that was junk. That's exactly right. That's how it was in the 70s. I remember in the 70s, a 50 something. I had a 56 Ford that I bought for, I think, $50 or $60 or something. That was a running car, 6 cylinder, three on a tree. And all that guy wanted to do was get rid of it. It was just in his way. And that car was probably 20 years old at the time. And Dean Stevenson, I'm on break. It's on break.
yeah. All you have to do is own a giant barn,
It is a
pay your
little, it
taxes.
is a little warm in here. Did we turn the air conditioning some other direction?
I don't think so. It's just all these lights. They warm the room up pretty quick, and so when the air
Okay.
conditioner turns off, it gets hot quick. And
R-
then,
RC's taking off. Take care. Good
oh, I'm
night.
sorry you have to go so quickly, Rick. We'll talk to you again soon. We definitely need to talk later in the week. I have uh, nerve block injections on Wednesday. I'm probably going to be knocked
That's
out all
tomorrow
day
morning. That's
Wednesday.
tomorrow morning. Yep.
Yeah, and then hopefully Thursday I'll be okay. Friday I'm hoping to be back on my feet and doing things. And so Saturday we're going to yeah. Let us know on Saturday and we will let us know when you're going to show up and whatnot. Going to coordinate this. Dizzy's angry
What?
vagrant. He made the
Scroll
paper.
down to Disney's.
Nice.
What is this? What scroll? Scroll. What's he talking about? Don't know.
Welcome to the stream, Colleen.
Mama cubed. Yep. Mama cubed.
I was conscious that I would want these things later. Yeah.
Well,
It's hard to
I
know
remember.
what to say.
I remember I sold a '66 Mustang GT convertible, black on black, 289, automatic, and I didn't sell it for a lot, about some hundreds of dollars. And the guy that bought it was go, "Oh, these are going to be a classic." And I'm thinking, there's like hundreds of thousands of these. They're never going to be a classic. Well, here we are. There were hundreds of thousands of those Mustangs, and now they're not. So
Well, think about it now, right? Is 20-year-old car with 200,000 miles because people put a lot of miles on them. So you're talking a 2005 Mustang, maybe a V6 with 200,000 miles on it, needs some body work.
yeah, they're the lowest price Mustangs are.
Maybe a cracked windshield, a dent on one side, needs tires, brakes, a transmission. I mean, you don't know what the engine or transmission is going to do. People have neglected as much.
I have to listen to smarter people.
Oh,
The Mexican spec says I have to listen. I'm not smart. I'm not smart enough. Well, okay, so what am I going to do with it? I got like this fleet of 6 or 7 cars at a time, and I'm getting another job that's like halfway across the country. What can I do? You sell the stuff because that's what you got to do.
I mean, that's the business he was in. He was
Mm.
buying cars and fixing them and then trying to sell them, make a
I
profit.
always had cars going like buy one, sell one, buy one, sell one. There were a couple I kept for a long time. My '64 Ford I kept for 17 years, but at some point it had to go.
We have a lot of cars, considering we don't commercially repair and sell cars.
What do I have? I have van, Ford van,
Yeah,
Mazda 6,
yes. The Jeep.
a Jeep Patriot, an '08 Jeep Patriot, and most people think that's an old piece of junk, and I think it's a pretty nice car. And then I have a 72 Valiant.
Yeah.
Isn't that it? That's
No,
what.
you have the Studebaker as well.
Oh, I have a Studebaker, but it's all apart. Okay, but
So
I
you
have a
have
Studebaker.
5 cars.
I have 5 cars. And how many do you have?
Oh, probably 12. But several of them are only parts. You know, they're never intended to be. And I do revivals. That's my thing. I revive vehicles. And I actually do it. We revived that Dodge Dakota. If you didn't see our lives last week late at night, we dragged the Dodge Dakota in. I put a points distributor in it when it was originally computerized. I ripped all that off and put a points distributor in it. I took the throttle body fuel injection off and put a carburetor on it. And we corrected the timing belt cogs were off by a link. And we drove it out of the garage. And we worked on it maybe, 8 hours over the course of like 5 nights. And that was our thing. I'm working on a video. I have to make a conclusion to the video.
Lot Burns says he saved many old cars because he had the room to store them. But after 40 years of storage, it's a heartbreak to see the damage done by
Yeah, the
Mickey Minnie
mice.
Mouse. Oh, man.
Yeah, even if you have it in a barn, if you have it under a warm, dry cover, that's like.
You think everything's good, and then you go in there and it's like, what smells? And there's open a glove compartment, big rat's nest in there or something. I find it in my toolbox. We were up there in the shop and I put a toolbox, big mouse nest in one of them. I go, I was just in this drawer yesterday that wasn't there, and now there's mouse crap and some mouse nest in it. It's like, ah. Well, you can imagine if you let the car sit there forever. Kim, can you bring that up? I want Mexican Spec to see this modified Corvette. He doesn't like modified cars, but he might notice you're in the way. You're in the way of the taillights. Can you make it smaller?
There.
Yeah. Tell me what those taillights were on that Corvette, Mexican Spec. Oh, yeah, 2 cats per car. Yeah, as long as the cats don't whiz on the seats, you're okay. But they usually don't do that. They'll actually keep the mice out of the cars.
A little bit. If you don't feed them too much. But then they're likely to go somewhere else.
Yeah, I had a cat that lived outside and something happened.
Yeah, thanks for reminding us, Mexicans.
It smells. If a snake finds the mice, then it smells like.
Yeah, it doesn't smell so great. And the other thing is who has the money to put away a car that's in running driving condition? Like most people don't put them away until they're worn out, broke down.
He goes, yeah, I noticed my taillights. Somebody took this Corvette and they did some custom work to it, and they put 63 Plymouth taillights in it, which I just, that's why I saved that picture, because it just kind of surprised me somebody would do that. He also did stuff to the front that was not particularly, that's not the picture I want. Oh yeah, here's the front. I don't even like the front on it, but there's the front. Yeah, I don't know why somebody would do that, but somebody did that.
The myth of taking a car, like going back in time and taking a car and hiding it in a barn and then driving it, like coming back to current day and driving it out of there 40 years later, it's just not real. Time has very serious consequences to vehicles. They're machines that are meant to be used, and more so newer vehicles. Like, put away a brand new car for 40 years. How well do you think all those computerized things are going to work after sitting for 40 years?
Yeah, the front's even worse. I agree. I think they tried to Chryslerize it.
It's weird. It's actually cool, but I don't know.
Of course, you don't know what that Corvette looked like when he got it. It might have been smashed in the front and the back,
Yeah.
and he just made it like that. Who knows? Dean Stevenson, Plymouth. That's what I always say when I see it across the hood. Looks like Plymouth, and you open up like a mouth. 63 full-size Plymouth, the only car with Pentastar shaped lights. I really like 63 Plymouths. I think they nailed it that year, but I don't know. I like the turn signals out on the tips of the fenders. I like the taillights. I like everything about those. And in the seating position, it was really good. I don't know. I always like that.
Yep. If
Yeah, and
somebody
then the other thing is,
kept one of those since their first car, that would be pretty amazing.
even when you have some space, we have some space, and I'm always saying, Kim, get those cars down the hill, get them down the hill, because people can see them from the street and neighbors can see them, and pretty soon all you need is one person to complain, and then the county comes around and makes you get rid of them all. And they're not nice about it. You know, people that, political people that run counties, they see no value in old cars. That's an eyesore, and they want them gone today. They're not nice people.
Yeah, they'll threaten you with fines and stuff like that. And we
So,
are not in an HOA or anything like that, but we know that the wrong person gets a bug up their butt, they will
so that's why I
come
like
and
them.
start pushing.
I like them down the hill a little bit, and I like them in lines, like they're parked in lines, and start seeing flat tires. And man, that's somebody's gonna say it's an eyesore. Somebody with all they got to do is run a drone across your backyard, and now they got an eyesore.
Dr. Art, welcome to the stream.
Dr. Art's here. Ah, hello. Chrysler Vet. Yeah, he didn't see the back of it. Let me move this so you can see the back of it, Dr. Art. So what taillights are those? We already discussed it, but maybe you know what it is. More Chrysler stuff. 63 Plymouth taillights. I don't know. Somebody did that. I saved it when I saw it because I was thinking about how much I like 63 Plymouths. I don't know if I like it on there. But, yep. What is this one? I'm always looking at all these pictures. What is that? Oh.
Dr. Art, I was unable to attend your live stream on Monday. Dr. Art is a friend of the channel, and he live streams on Monday night at 7, and he does a great job of interacting with the community for that live stream. So if you have not checked him out, please do. He's also regularly live streaming on Wednesday night. I believe they start at 7 as well with Uncle Tony. So yeah, if you want to, he does some amazing stuff with if you or anyone you know has a computer controlled car that's not really running at its peak performance. He knows how to use the tuning software to change the fuel map and really wake stuff up. And I'm impressed.
It's better going backwards, yeah.
So, yeah, if you want to learn about that stuff or if you have questions about that kind of stuff, check out Dr. Hart.
Before this goes away, can you click on that link that Mexican Spec put up? Right click on or something, bring it up on your. So,
Yeah.
Because I want to know what that is. Oh, you got to go into.
It's okay. Don't worry about it right now. Okay.
Oh.
We'll bring it up. Yeah, I got it.
Okay, so.
We'll talk about it in a minute. I was talking about Dr.
I'm sorry,
Art.
I just don't want that to go away, because.
Dr. Art has been working on a truck. What year is Big Richard? Dr. Art,
68? I don't know.
Mexican Spec, can you plug Dr. Art's channel for us? Just put up a link. Are you able to? Because he is a friend of the channel, and we appreciate him stopping in to say hello. And we want to see him have success with all his endeavors because he has been so good to our community, and he is good people. And his wife has a channel. Dr. Art, is it Lucky Lindsay's something? She puts up cool stuff. I like it. She's a nice lady. So, anyways, they are content creators and they do some cool things. So.
Oh, is this? Oh.
Oh, here comes another picture.
I don't know if I should show this, but I'll show it. What
Why?
the heck?
Why wouldn't we?
It's old, so it's. There we go. There's Dr. Art.
Thank you, Mexicans.
That Corvette right there, and that guy, that's my son. That's when he went to Bondurant driving school and learned to tear up the track.
Oh yeah, they taught him evasive or
all kinds of stuff.
maneuvers.
So
maneuvers.
I asked him how it was in that Corvette driving it, and he goes, he goes, oh, he's telling me about it and everything, and going into corners and really, really running it hard. And he says, I haven't been through a tank of gas yet. He goes, but I've been through a set of tires. I was like, really? Yep, burned up a set of tires in one afternoon. It's like, oh man. He goes, they got finished, they got out, there was smoke coming from the right front, and they got out, and the instructor's going, well, that's normal, it's a right front tire. And he says there's like rubber all up inside the wheel well, and the tire was destroyed. But that was from running it so hard through their course. It's like, man, okay, I'm taking this away. It's just one of those things. What else is here? Oh, that's the same car.
And so I think most of the people, well, I don't know who all's in watching, and some people might watch in replay, but since this is a community oriented stream, so we are here not just for us but for everyone else. Hey Mike, and so if you are making content, you have you're looking for to boost yourself a little bit, we're not mad about it. That's okay. Ask, and we'll put up a link to your channel, and we'll talk. We can even talk about the content that you're making, and maybe other people who are in the stream will find it interesting, and that would be great. We'll all work together, or at least entertain ourselves in the process. I can't promise you that we will help you make any money because we have yet to learn how
How
to
to do
do
that
that.
ourselves.
But we're really enjoying the process. Like we've learned, we're really honing our skills. We're getting better at making certain kinds of content. We're seeing results.
Mexican spec. No, just no. That's for you Buick fans that might want a Corvette. Yeah, Mexican spec doesn't like things that are customized. Get her off the car. She's scratching the paint.
Right, get her on the ground.
Jeez. Yeah, rivet, something like that. Yeah, that's.
Get off of
I'm
the
just.
screen.
I'm
That's
just. I'm just.
blasphemy.
I'm just bringing up. What's that? A Buick mod? Yeah, that's what I said. It's a Buick mod.
John, after the stream, I will try and remember to remind for Buff to text you our address.
What's this? Who?
For John, welcome to the stream, John Wilburn. He wants to send us a banner. We won.
Oh, God, yeah.
You completed the challenge, the 30-day shorts challenge, and John has generously offered to send out banners to the people that did it. So
there's the kit that I put the lights in my Corvette with that had the pop-up headlights that were nothing but problems, and I finally got sick of it, and I put those in there. That's the most bizarre lights I ever had, and solved all the problems. So my Corvette had those. Do I have any pictures? I know I've shown pictures of my Corvette before. Glad I have the information for that in case I want another set. What is this? What is this? Unnecessary, but actually kind of cool. I'm not sure what she's talking about. This one? These things? I'm not sure.
I think she was talking about the rivet. Rivet.
Oh, clamshells. Yeah, they opened like this. That's 65 Riviera. I like the 63 and 4 Rivieras better. Those clamshell things were actually, what do you call them? Parking lights. But they were not so, they weren't quite as big. And the headlights looked good in the grill back then. Corvette reminds me of the last trip to the dentist, which, what was that? The one with the, I don't know, the Buick one?
Oh, we were going to look at this Mexican spec.
Oh yeah, bring
photo.
that up. Bring up Mexican Spec's car that he put the link to.
All right, I don't remember how.
You don't remember how to bring up that
I'm
that?
struggling here. Give me a second.
Okay,
Left. Ha! First guess. Sorry. Sorry for saying ha really loud.
there you go. Yeah, I looked at that one just recently, like earlier today, I think.
Corona. Oh, I remember some rusty old Coronas when I was young.
You lived in the area where they were rusty. Look
Oh
at
my
that one.
God, there was
There's no
nothing
rust.
left.
See, and I grew up where there was no rust, so I saw them. They looked like that till they got old. They
The
just quit
wheels were
running.
still barely attached. Like all the everything was just rotten. Rotten.
So Mexican Spec. What do we need to? You want to say something about this, or what? It's one of your cars.
Interesting. Easy to maintain. Very, very. I don't know. It's not too flashy. Mm. I'm not sure who's in the market for a 77 Toyota Corona, but
That's gonna take a person that really likes that. I mean, of course, we're in a group of people that likes, probably 60s and 70s American cars. So that's a car from the era, but it's not really a hot rod, but it's probably a nice car.
fender mirrors. Have you seen fender mirrors on American version cars?
Not on the American version. They put the
No.
mirrors way up front in Japan.
Did they do that in Europe too sometimes?
I don't know.
It's probably like an aftermarket kind of add-on if you wanted to do that in America.
Yeah, Celicas from back, the original Celicas were really cool looking cars.
Oh, they weren't even legal in the U.S., he says.
Oh, those mirrors way up at the tips of the fenders.
Rusted like anything. Yeah, I mean, they were light cars, the metal wasn't real thick, and they weren't really designed with like
Oh
this,
my God,
the,
here you go.
the kind of drip edges that might be necessary to shed. But, salted road.
Can bring
This,
up, here's a strange one. I don't know if anybody will like it. I just like strange stuff. So when I see something like this, it's like, oh, look at that.
that Volkswagen pickup truck, I wonder.
Well, look, there's still vents in the back. They got an engine back there. I don't know. It's a fifth wheel
Did they
Volkswagen
stretch
Beetle.
it out?
I don't know.
Or is it just
Well,
squared
look where
off?
the distance between the back fender and the door is. Looks about right. I don't know what they did. Yeah.
They did the best they could with what they had, apparently. Oh, help with the narrow streets. That makes sense.
Well, the guy put fender mounted mirrors on the 71 or 2 satellite back in the 80s.
Levi's Backyard
Hey,
Performance.
yeah,
Dylan,
there's Dylan.
thank you for stopping in. I understand the bouncing. You don't have to be here the whole time. We're not. It's not like a.
Yeah, it's a split window
You
bug.
don't own me. Like
It's a
we appreciate you stopping in and saying hello. And if you want to talk, like, if someone can put up a link to Levi's Backyard Performance so that people can see how he's doing with his project. Is his car a Laguna?
It's a Laguna. I think it's the second year of the Laguna. It's the early Laguna, which 73 had kind of the front end was kind of straight up and down, and the ones after that were kind of pointed in the front. He has one of the ones that's pointed.
So he is. We met him at the first No Name Nationals, and we've been doing our best to follow him and his projects, and he always brings something interesting, and he's good people. So if you've never seen any of his content, check out his channel, give him a subscription if he earned it, and I don't think you'll be disappointed.
That's Levi's. Levi saw.
Excellent. Thank you, Mexican Spec. Steel
Yes.
tires on the well, you got to get around. You need traction on those Volkswagen.
Yeah, it's a fifth wheel, and that is a
Roots.
split window Volkswagen on the tubing trailer. I mean, that whole rig is kind of cool looking. But I mean, if you saw that, like pulling a gas station, you know you'd want to go in there and look at it. You know, they make Beetles into all kinds of stuff here. Yeah, you know, I bet in Mexico they do, especially because they made them for so long there. So they not only have the old ones, they have ones we never had. You know. Nice tube job. Man, that's something I know how to do is work with tubing. Built a lot of airplanes out of thin wall, smaller tubing than that. Okay, 75 was the first year of the pointed nose. Yeah, I remember I almost bought a Laguna. Man, it was an El Camino with a Laguna nose on it in 73, first year. I just loved that thing, but I was young kid and I needed somebody to co-sign on a loan, and my parents are like, no. That was the end of that discussion. So I didn't get that Laguna. They didn't make much of a muscle car back then. I was really surprised the first year at No Name Nationals I saw yours, and then you broke. We went the night we went to dinner at Lambert's. You were sitting there next to us, and you were already broken. You already done. And it's like it wasn't even the first day yet. You know, it's like, wow, crap. Then the second year, you ran, and it's pretty good. But then you broke again. But and really, the engine was still running, but you knew you had to stop.
Yeah, don't want to ruin it. No good reason to destroy it.
And so you were disappointed, but we got to see it run.
Yeah. And when you're pushing the limits of performance, when that's your goal every time you're at the track, stuff's going to break. You know? Like, we're not going to do that with our cars because we were, like, poor.
Yeah,
Maybe not poor.
Lagunas are the best looking Malibus. I know they weren't Malibus, but they were. Same body.
Best looking Malibus.
Well, they're the same body.
No, they were Lagunas.
They're the same body, but they made them better.
I make myself something to drink.
And you want to crank the air conditioning up a notch or two?
I will, yeah.
Or down?
Do you think you can entertain for a minute?
No, I'm not. I'm not worth a shit. But I'll just leave that picture up there.
Is that the picture you want up for now?
Yeah. Just go.
Okay,
Hurry.
Because you can change pictures.
I'm a Beetle enthusiast. Yeah, John Wilburn's a Beetle enthusiast and a Mopar enthusiast. Mix the two together. Beetles were never cheap down here. Guaranteed to pay 50% more than other small cars same year. They were cheap here for a while, and then they went back up because as the Beetles disappeared, the price went up. Parents aren't any fun.
Tonight,
but I love mine.
I will be using this here vegetable juice to make a virgin Bloody Mary.
What?
Yeah.
It's a Bloody Mary with no alcohol?
Yeah.
That guy I was on the phone with earlier just before we went live.
Yeah.
He's coming down to Nashville for something. And he says he's going to take us out, and he says he's going to get me drunk. I said, nah. No, I don't want to do that, but he just laughs, you know. But he's going to take us out to dinner, he said.
Okay.
He's a good guy. He's a guy that I worked with in the airplane business. And he's a machinist and a guitar player. I think he's going to Nashville to try to get some work. Playing guitars. Levi says Buff is the best host. Really? I never thought about that. An experimental Lancer. What about a Lancer? Lancer's a composite airplane. There are a couple of different Lancers. There's a small one and a big one, and they kept putting bigger engines, and eventually they put turbines in some of them. Yeah, it's a heck of an airplane. I just learned there was an accident in Oshkosh yesterday. So unfortunate. Somebody flying in. Was it somebody that was leaving Ohio to go there? My old boss got killed in an airplane accident the day before Oshkosh, and he was probably going to Oshkosh. My guess is you out flying the airplane, checking it out the day before, and ended up. I'm not going to talk a lot about what happened because there's nothing official yet. I'll wait till the NTSB finishes with their report. But he had to land, power problems, had to land, and landed on a road. But there was a truck coming the other way, and he turned to miss the truck and ended up going to trees and got killed. And it's a guy I've known for a long time, and everybody's sad about it. Nashville's a great place to live. No, it was on 7/22. Yeah, this was on 7/21. This was the day before. It was on Sunday. Yeah, Sunday, the 21st. AirVenture is out of control. I quit going. I mean, I used to go with Kim, your head's cut off. There. Her head's back. November 1/8. Bravo Golf. I don't know. We'll have to see what that is. I'm sick of airplanes and people dying in them. Just too many. I got 22 friends been killed in airplanes. It's just, that's not normal, you know. That's why I quit flying. Flew big drones for the military. But more than that, I did just design work for them. And I've had to fly in the airlines a couple of times, but I avoid that at just about anything. I'd rather get in a Valiant and drive somewhere. Looks like a stall of some sort. Yeah. Was it a Lancer? Was that the Lancer? Stall spin. You know, it never ends. Stall spin accidents. You got to keep the airplane flying. Well, John kept the airplane. John had a loss of power, and he kept the airplane flying. And there were witnesses there, credible witnesses that were airplane people. And he kept it flying, got it on the ground. There was a truck coming, and he turned a little and got into the trees.
Going too fast still to stop.
Well, yeah, I mean, he probably just barely on the ground. So are you retired? Like, what does Kim and Buff do for work? Okay, I worked for 55 years, and I decided that was enough. And I've gone Social Security, which is not a lot of money, not much retirement, but I paid the house off while I was working, so I don't have a house payment, so I can do it. Kim's here with me. She's basically the same kind of thing.
I did work for many years. I worked as a professional plumber. I worked in IT, and unfortunately, I have severe spinal injury in my neck, and surgery, and traumatic neurological difficulties since then, which make it difficult for me to. You only see me when I'm doing good, but you don't see the days when I just cannot function, and so I have been trying to recover from this injury since 2015. I went back to work for about 8 months, and then I couldn't walk for a year and a half. Well, okay, so I can walk, but it's I say exhausting. It doesn't really explain it, but like when I go to Walmart now, if we have a lot of shopping, I ride in the electric cart because I can't do it.
She was we were in Walmart one day, and she couldn't make it through Walmart. She sat on the floor, and I'm like, she goes, just go over there and we were toward the end, just go over there to the frozen food, get this and this, and then come back. By the time I get, there's people there. Are you okay? Are you okay? They want to help her up, and she goes, I just need to sit here and rest. And then she sat and rested for a while. I helped her up. She made it out to the car. And then she's in there apologizing that she wants to use one of the little go-kart things they have. And the guy that's there goes, of course use it. That's what they're there for. And she goes, but I'm not that old and I'm not that crippled. And he goes, use it. He goes, kids come in here and race these things around. We're not allowed to stop them. So yeah, of course, take one. So she did. It was nice. She just drove it around. And
it really helped, yeah.
But when she'll work, like, you see her like 3 hours up in the shop, she'll be pissing around with something in the shop. Well, what you don't see is after we're off the live, she's flat on her back in bed going, "Oh, I work too long," because
Well,
she's hurting. Because
at
she's
home
hurting.
too, I can pick my best hours of the day, and I can just kind of go straight over to the shop and work for a few hours. I can sit down whenever I need to. I can take a break for as long as I need to. If I want to, I can go back to work. So,
Well, and then she feels bad about
well,
the in the cart because she'll get up and get some.
I
But she,
can get
well,
up.
of
I'm
course
not
she can get up. She
helpless.
get up, but if she walks that whole store, she's in trouble. Okay, so let's see. Mike wants to know if you're industrial or residential plumber, master plumber. There's some questions here.
I did both industrial and residential plumbing. Um, Mostly, well, no, rough in and repair. I did groundwork plumbing, and didn't get a master plumber. That would have been another couple of years and another test, but I would have easily done it. I scored very highly on my journeyman plumber's test and got my journeyman plumber's license. After you have to go to school for 4 years in Pittsburgh to get a journeyman plumber's license, and I did that. I worked full time and went to night school. Like I'm not a lazy person, but there's a point in an injury that you say, okay, I have to go easy and give this time to heal and recover. And nerve damage, they said, can take many years even.
Well, commercial plumbing. When you were doing that, you weren't sitting in an excavator all day. You're climbing skyscrapers.
Well, no, there was times where I did groundwork, and
Okay.
I directed the guy in the excavator. I had a radio, and we would I would use a pole to get depths and make sure we dig the ditch so that the bottom of the ditch was at the proper sloping, and then we glue in the pipe and put in all the appropriate cleanouts, and we'd have a big set of plans, and they would give us pull-offs to the columns of the building. There was no building. There's just dirt and a big acres of ground where they're going to build a giant factory, and all the pipes need to go in and they can't run into each other. There's roof drains and there's all kinds of different stuff that has to go in the ground. So we would read the plans and translate it and put the pipes in and bury all the pipes properly, and then we'd have to you can only do so much in a day because the inspector has to come each day and see what you're doing before you bury it. And
Surveyor's level.
yeah,
You
surveyor's
you were a
level.
surveyor, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then you also had another job.
Well,
You got a degree in.
after I was too injured to work as a plumber, because that is really difficult work, because the plumbing does not come to you. You have to get up early in the morning, get ready, drive to wherever the job is, work long days, and then drive home and then do it again. I didn't
In
have the stamina.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I didn't have that. Yeah, and all weather, outside, very frequently in the winter, I would be outside working. It was very difficult work. And so once I couldn't do that anymore, was able to transition to a job as a land surveyor. So I was still outside, but there wasn't so much, man. So I am temporarily retired. I don't know. I'm trying to recover from pretty difficult injury.
Well, and tomorrow we're going back to the doctor, have more neck stuff.
I'm going tomorrow to have nerve injections in my neck, in my spine, to try and numb the pain a little bit so I can function.
This is the second one of those.
Well, I stopped doing plumbing after I had a spondylosis. You can look it up. It sounds silly, but my spine actually slipped off in the front from over working too hard. The joint dissolved. It was bone on bone, and then since the loss of that, anyways, my spine collapsed. So they put it back up. They added an inch back into my height, and then they put bolts and rods. Someday I'll grab the photographs. It's gnarly. It looks like 2-inch wood screws into my spine. So I have a fusion in my lower back, and that's when I stopped doing plumbing. And then I did land surveying for another 3 years until I had so much problems in my neck that I started having difficulty walking, and I couldn't do land surveying anymore. And I thought that I would get treatment from doctors and be better, but that wasn't the case. It was pretty bad. Oh, I didn't set that air conditioner down, and I can really feel it
Yeah,
now.
it's warm. I don't know what. I think I may have moved that because during the night it gets cold,
It does.
and then I bump it up higher temperature and probably forgot to put it back down.
No, it's right.
We're
It's just warm in here.
got a lot of
because-
lights in here, yeah.
Yeah.
But still, you know what? I bought more lights this week. We haven't put them up yet, but they're all LEDs, the big long strips of LEDs. So we'll have to, because right now this looks like a mess. We got pieces of foam hanging up and foam this way and a white sheet over there, and trying to keep the light reflected where we need it. And it'd be better to have something that looks more organized than this. CCTV inspections and cleaning of storm and sewer lines.
Mike, I've done a little bit of all those things along the way. Residential and commercial line cleaning, we used pressure jet, and then follow-up inspection, and then pipe location. You run a line down, and then you use a locator so that you can mark. And yeah, you can't. The thing that a lot of people don't understand about cameras is you can't put a camera down a pipe that's clogged and full of garbage because you won't see much. So you have to get it open so it can drain first, and then you can put the camera down and hopefully find out what was the cause of the obstruction. So yeah, I've worked on a bunch of stuff like that.
Dylan, I worked in a nuclear power plant for a couple of years, and then I was out of there. But I knew a lot of people that worked on reactors. They were people that worked in what they call outages, where they refuel the reactors. And if you want, I'll try to get you some contact information. Most of those guys I know they're either just about to retire or they're retired. But I'm sure they know all the movers and shakers in the business. Yeah, Westinghouse. Westinghouse built a lot of stuff. I was yeah. They also flew in a B-24 in World War II. Man, most of those guys are gone. I knew one guy that was a B-24 pilot, and yeah, he passed away a few years ago. Yeah, I got.
Is Dylan saying his life goal is to work on nuclear reactors?
I don't know. He says that. I think that's kind of what I understood. He's working on some other kind of reactors, but I don't know.
I just saw, I think it's the Japanese, said they just did a successful test of a passively cooled nuclear reactor that they could just turn the cooling off and it would go into auto shutdown mode without any, I guess because they had such a terrible problem.
Oh, they had a worst mess.
So they had a
you can
successful
even imagine.
successful test of a commercial sized nuclear reactor with passive cooling.
I thought I was going to Japan when that happened. In fact, I was told I was going to Japan, and we were going to fly unmanned aircraft where they couldn't have people, and we were going to be like 12 miles away, and they gave us a road to land on and all this, but somebody else ended up going. I was second crew out, so first crew went. I ended up staying in the U.S. That was when was that? 2010? That Fukushima happened?
Has it been that long since Fukushima?
I think so.
That seems right. Tavo, the bags of Portland cement are 82 or 9. I think they're 82 pounds. So I've loaded trucks with those. It takes all day to load a truck. Then you take it to the job and unload it. I've carried them around. I should never have been doing that. My neck was never right to try and. Yeah, so I know. And it hurts. Don't punish your body when you're young because it could potentially hurt for a very long time.
Dented Dreams Garage. I work for Continental. Tires, belts, hoses, pretty much anything rubber from Hoosiers. Are they making any of that stuff in the U.S.? Like belts and tires and hoses? Man, I bought a hose that came from China. That thing was so stiff I could not make it work because it was a curved hose, like a 90 degree with a little bend. It was impossible. It was just so bad. I don't remember, we used something else. We got some other hose from some other company and cut it and used it. Um, Also working on those can pay well, which is a good reason to do in the industry, is shrinking. Yeah, I suppose it is. They keep talking about building more nuclear reactors and they keep not doing it. So I don't know. Those things are so big, so complicated, so labor intensive. It's, yeah, one of those things. Then I'd like the plant right down the road from Nutramax. I don't know what that is. I'm a landlord, landscaper, and pizza man. Plus, I'm getting a bodywork job on a neighbor's car soon. Bodywork. I don't want to work for anybody else with
Right
cars.
now, our job
Because
is
there's always somebody that's going to be unhappy with my work. And you know what? When I work on something for me, it's good. Yeah, I'm happy with it. If I'm not happy with it, I redo it. But trying to make customers happy with everything you do, man, it's hard. And you can really do a good job on something. So you'll nitpick it, or something else will happen completely. I remember a woman got so mad at me. She brought me at the time, Datsun Z car is like a 240 or a 260Z, and the thing is ancient. All the hoses they had cord on the outside of the hoses. They're all like crispy critters when you touch them. Well, I did something to the radiator. It was leaking. I fixed it, put it back together. And, like a week later, she's angry as hell with me and just huge mad. What happened was one of those crispy critter hoses that went to one of the carburetors was leaking fuel. What's that got to do with me? But as far as she was concerned, she brought the car to me. It was leaking. I fixed it, and it's leaking again.
you touched it.
Oh man! And I ended up I couldn't charge her. You know, she's just gonna badmouth me all over town. So I got some fuel line and replaced those fuel lines and hope nothing else cracks and breaks. And so I fixed it for her. She is still mad at me when she left. She's angry as hell with me. And I really fixed something that had nothing to do with what I did. And I spent my money fixing her car and
People
my
took
time.
advantage of you when
And
you were
and
working.
she was
You're a
so
good man.
angry with me. And you run into a lot of that when you're working professionally on other people's cars. And of course, you watch YouTube or you watch TV is terrible. They all hate mechanics. So it's kind of like being a cop. When people come to you, they're already pissed off. So so when I went to airplanes, you build new airplanes. People come to you, they're happy. They're going to have an airplane. It was such a different mechanical world.
Exactly, Tavo.
Where's this? Burns.
Next to last.
Next to last. Hey, since you adjusted and greased my wheel bearings, the AC stopped working. Yeah. Oh, you can't believe it. Yep. I would never deliver around here, not even with a sidearm on both sides. My industry, especially on new job sites, if you plan and make a schedule, just throw it in the garbage. Stuff never goes to plan and waste time making. Here, I always say something's going to take like a certain amount of time, and I always take longer. And you know where I've really learned it is doing shorts. Okay, this is less than 1 minute. She'll start the video, and I'll do something really fast, and I go, how much time? And she'll go like 1 minute and 8 seconds. I go like, what? I went over 1 minute. So then we'll do it again and again, and pretty soon I'm under 1 minute. And it's like, man, that's hard. Stay on schedule. When it's a 1 minute schedule, I still can't get it.
Mike, and 17 below in Knoxville. That sounds awful. I was in Pittsburgh and it was like really bad. Like that for 3 to 4 months out of the winter. It was horrendous. There were days where we went out and by lunch, your boots were frozen. You were standing on blocks of ice. The rubber literally froze because the ground was so cold it would freeze your boots. We would have to drag cardboard out to where we were working so we could stand on the cardboard to kind of insulate us from the cold of the ground through our boots, through our socks. And you were still a popsicle by lunchtime, and you had to warm up a little bit at lunch and go and do it again. That's hard. Hard on the body, hard on just difficult. Anyways, oh, we dropped connection.
Uh-oh. Are we?
Oh, we dropped connection.
Uh-oh. Are we there?
We came back.
We're there. Did everybody see us drop out and
They
come
probably
back?
didn't even see it. OBS Studio does. We use OBS Studio, and it manages our stream with YouTube, and it does a pretty good.
I saw that warning come up. It's like, we're gone.
Why do humans live there? Well,
where's that, in Pittsburgh? They were always there.
well, at one time, Pittsburgh was a booming city.
Well, they put up with it because they had really good jobs. Yeah, all the steel industry there.
Well, yeah, the river was there, which made it easy to move materials around. They were moving huge materials and large amounts of. It was easy access to energy, coal, and the limestone is used to extract the slag out of iron to make it into steel. So all the raw materials were within close proximity. They mined it and then they brought it on the river. And Pittsburgh it's really nice. In the summertime, it's really nice. And there's a couple of months out of the winter where it's actually really pretty. But if you have to work outside or in unheated environments, it's brutal. But, that's why they call it work. That's why work is a 4-letter word. We do not work right now so much. We are entertainer. Our goal is to be entertainers, and to build community for ourselves and for the community. Money would be nice, and income would be, just phenomenal, because we are,
We pay the bills and we eat.
Ooh,
That's about it.
it's a little scary, 'cause
And we go to No Name Nationals every year.
when the heating bill comes in the winter, it's more than we can bear year round. But we seem to make ends meet, and we find a way. But it would be nice to have some sort of. But I don't really see that coming right now. The winds of change has blown so that, all the influencers are leaving YouTube because there's not big money to be made by yabbing and doing a little dance and trying to sell something to somebody. Well, we're not here selling something to somebody. We're just enjoying our life.
We should be
sharing
something.
our experiences.
What can we sell?
Well, we talk about tools a lot. We could probably
Scissors. Buy scissors.
No,
Sponsor.
no.
Scissors.
They're not sponsored. They're not sponsored. We're not really here to influence people. We're just here to build community and entertain and enjoy. And it's easy. It's actually easier to entertain by just talking to you and hearing what you're interested in. Because otherwise, we'd have to write scripts and stuff like that, and that is difficult. I can't be entertaining all the time or entertaining for 3 hours a week. I'm not that entertaining, but you are. And having a community is good stuff. I think a lot of people are learning how to appreciate that. And I think that's where a lot of, if YouTube doesn't go that way, I think YouTube will slowly die out and will move to some other platform. Right now, I don't think that's what's happening. I think that YouTube is open to giving small creators and community builders a voice. And I think that we're trying to step into that opportunity,
Yeah, I was going to say, Mixing Specs talking about the power bill. In the summertime here, we have the AC running quite a bit, but AC is cost me this much. Heat in the winter it's horrible.
It's like 4 times as
It's
much
4
to
times as
heat
much
as
as
it
AC.
is to air conditioning.
As the AC. So we're not running the AC that hard, but we've had 2 extreme cold winters here, which is, it's unusual for here. Yeah, it's 69 Dart. That's why I saved that picture, because it was a pretty nice one. Isn't that nice, man?
Oh, I had a friend. His name was Greg. He was up in Pittsburgh, and he had a 69 Dart just like that. And I remember the day he threw his clutch out through the hood.
What?
He would race it. He had a slant six with a not a super six. What's that long one that they sell for slant sixes? Aussie Speed sells a. Anyways.
Yeah, I don't know.
They have a great big six, like long manifold for the 6-cylinder hyperpack. Anyways, Greg had. I don't know if I should say his last name, but Greg had a Dart just like that, same color like that, real pretty like that. His dad had a dealership, and he had been keeping it all those years. And he raced it with the 6 and blew up, had a clutch explosion, just ripped the transmission bell housing in half and busted. Boy, he got a scatter shield after that.
Well, electric heat. Here's what happened. There was no gas here. We're out in the middle of nowhere. There's electric heat. That was it. And then the unit was going bad, and they had it repaired and had it repaired. Every time I had to repair it, the guy goes, "You really should replace this." Well, finally, a couple of years ago, I replaced it. It was really expensive. About 2 months after I replaced it, somebody's digging up my lawn out front, parallel to the street. I go out there, "What's going on?" They go, "Oh, well, we're putting gas in." "You're putting gas in now after I bought a new unit?" All right. So there's gas out there now, but yeah, I have electric. So then I'd have to get a different unit, and the timing was terrible. So yeah, I have electric heat, but we also have a fireplace. So we're gonna have to do something with cleaning that, and there's ways to get some.
Lester
We've
LeSabre,
got lots of wood here, so
electric heat is exactly burning money for heat. It is the exact that, but it
when that's
works,
all you have,
and you have to have heat. So there you
Oh,
have it.
we block off at least half the house with blankets and doors and stuff under the doors or whatever, and we keep those rooms pretty darn cool, and we heat a small portion of the house, but it's still expensive. And this winter, we should be using a wood stove a lot more.
At the shop.
At the shop, we use a wood stove, and man, did that ever make things nice. And because we have so much oak that's been knocked down by storms and everything, it's basically free at that point.
Barrows says he gets around 3 emails a week from companies wanting to pitch their goods.
How big is Barrows now?
Big enough that he's getting offers.
Big enough that he's getting offers, yeah.
It's like, yes, we're not in a position to turn away decent offers, but I know a lot of times people want you to try and sell their stuff that is not.
Do any of you watch that
Just be
guy?
Be careful what you put your name to.
You ever watch that guy that he used to have a bear's head on, and he's like the Den of Tools, something like that, or Den of Tools, I think. And now he doesn't wear the bear getup anymore. He's just a guy. But he just did a video on this, hawking people's stuff for him, And he goes, every time somebody sends you something, he goes, that's income. You gotta claim that on your income tax. It's income. He goes, you start getting a lot of stuff. And he says, like, I have 178 flashlights people have sent me. He goes, what do I do with these flashlights? And he goes, I can't talk about every one of them. He goes, like, everybody at Christmas gets a flashlight, But he goes, a lot of this stuff, he gives it away brand new. He'll give it. People say, you're going to get rich by selling it. He goes, no, I got to claim this as my income tax. And then people are like, how'd you get all this new stuff? They think he stole it. So he says he just gives it to nonprofit organizations once that he can claim. So it comes in as income, goes out as a nonprofit donation. Yeah. And he goes, sometimes he does a review. He goes, I'm honest about it. There's something I don't like. He goes, I'm honest about it. And he goes, some companies get really, really hurt by that and threaten you that you can't say that about our product. We gave it to you, So he says there's good and bad in that. I say, yeah, I believe it. Yep. Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting video to watch. It's about a half-hour long video about free stuff.
Dougster, having an air conditioner is a game changer. We really love when we can turn our air conditioner on. He was saying he's going to get one of those auxiliary cooling units. Dougster, I want to find a semi-refrigerator unit and use it to cool my shop for about less than a gallon per hour, and set the shop to freeze if I want.
You know what?
It
You
is
know what?
nice to have some cooling.
Kim went to one of these scratch and dent things where people have stuff they can't sell it as new, but it's got dents or a scratch in it or something. And she bought a window air conditioner for $200. It was a pretty decent window air conditioner. Put it in the shop, and man, we got humidity problems here. We run that air conditioner, and it's not expensive to run. We run it a lot, and our
Went up like $10 last
yeah,
month.
yeah, it went up like $10 for the electric bill at the shop. We went from it didn't even go $10. I think it went like from $38 to $45. But you know what it does? It doesn't really cool the shop off that much until evening, until the sun goes down. But man, it knocks the humidity down. It just pulls the water out of the air so well, and it's the best thing we have in that shop this time of year is that air conditioner.
It
she
extends the work
And-
season, even through that really bad heat.
She paid $200 for it for I don't know what that thing would be worth if you paid retail for it. Quite a bit
About
more than that.
$5.
About 500.
Yeah.
So, and our shop is like a giant 2-car garage. It's like what? Like a square footage, probably about like a almost 4-car garage, but it's not in the right shape for 4 cars. And with all the junk we got in there, we can get a car and a half in it. So, we've got a lot of tools, a lot of storage stuff.
I mean, for our garage, like we're running equipment and welders and stuff in there, and it's like barely hanging. It's kind of a. If it was a really nice installation, we would not do scratch and dent, but it's just a garage.
It says here swamp cooler is the way to go in the deep south. If you're talking deep south, like the south, like Alabama, Florida, Mississippi, nope. It's already so soaking wet that swamp cooler won't work. If you're talking about Arizona, yeah, it'll cool you off, but it also. I was working in a shop in Arizona, and they had a swamp cooler going all the time, and all our tools rusted. Everything we had rusted. I was so tired of that stupid swamp cooler. I'd rather put up with the heat than have all my tools rust. It just fills the air with moisture.
We have good scratch and dent here, Mike, because there is a housing growth sort of thing happening here because of the military base, and that keeps people buying new things. So there's a lot of scratch and dent kind of places, but they're not everywhere. So if you have one, take advantage of it, but they're not always the best way to go. Make sure you shop around. And then I saw that Clint's Street Machines
hello,
is here.
Clint.
Welcome to the stream, Clint. I was just watching his video trying to figure out what his new motor project is. It was a light cast iron block that doesn't fit a regular Chevy, so it's a BOP bell housing. And he was asking for people to guess what it was. Anyways, Mexican Spec, if you could drop a link to Clint's Street Machines in the chat, so if anyone is not already following Clint Street Machines, his videos come out. He seems like he posts like a couple in a series, and then there's a big gap, and then he does it again. So his recent series looks like he's working on an S10, and before that he was working on a Subaru. And a Subaru Brat, like the truck kind of thing, and it was super cool with like fat tires on the back and a big old rat rod stance.
Before it goes away, read Levi what he says there about scratch and dent.
Scratch and dent was how I was born. I hauled a car for my 2 mini fridges, drove 8 miles with a car on the trailer.
What's he talking about? I don't understand that.
Hauled a car in exchange for 2 mini fridges.
I don't know. I don't understand how I was born or something.
I don't know. That's how I got to
dense.
start.
Maybe I'm dense.
Working.
Oh, working. Yeah,
Or
okay.
maybe he was scratch and dented from birth.
Okay,
I think I was too.
There we got
Thank you for Mexican Spec for.
Clint Street Machines.
Oh, Clint is going to be busy making content from now until No Name Nationals. That's good to hear because it's interesting. Are you going to have that engine running for No Name Nationals?
You
got a lot to do.
Bringing the Subaru back? He's got a Subaru that's, if nobody saw it, or if any of you haven't seen it, it's like a Hot Wheels car, but it's real. That's pretty cool.
Last year we had a really enjoyable time hanging out with Clint and his wife at No Name Nationals in the pits that we really enjoyed. They were very hospitable and friendly, and they are really good people. So if you get a chance to meet them, you should do that. Say hello to them if you see them around. They will not be mean to you unless you deserve it.
My phone's buzzing. I got to see who it is. Got to build the whole truck in 56 days. You know, we got some stuff we've got to do, but
We have a running, driving car, and I'm nervous about the time it's going to take.
but yeah, I mean, I don't have any doubt that we won't make it, but I mean, something really catastrophic could have to happen. But we'll take. It looks like we'll be taking the Dart and and then a chase vehicle, probably the van.
I mean, you got to be. In the last 2 years, the Dart has extremely low miles and extremely low run hours. But we have been through the fuel system. We have been through the carburation system. We've looked at the
Put a
brakes,
rear end
the
on it?
newer rear end. I think we've done enough to make it a little bit reliable.
Oh,
think
Parts,
it'll be okay.
Mustangs, and minivans. Good evening. Oh, on my back.
Welcome to the stream.
My back's killing me. Why? I don't know. Do we have a pillow around here?
I don't know. Stand up, walk around a little bit, stretch out. I'll make sure everybody is entertained a little bit.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just.
Take a break.
For some reason, I'm hurting. I don't know why.
Hours and hours and
Don't
hours on
know
stream
why
is
I'm
tough.
hurting.
Is tough work. Whoa, 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 whoa.
I'm not going straight.
Okay. Now I'm in the hot seat. Oh, Dylan, I am sure working and trying to keep a car going or a car project moving, that's tough, you know. And we have a lot of hard lines, okay, fuel and brakes. Well, we're in the south, so the stuff isn't too rusty. And I just put a rubber line for the rear from the rear hard line to the rear axle. I replaced that. All the stuff on the rear axle has been inspected and it's good. And none of those lines seem to. They've all been looked at. They're good. I don't think we'll. You know, there could always be something that's in a weird place that I'm not looking at. But I think maybe I should be worried. That I'm not worried. All right, Clint. I hope that it's going well for you. Just keep it rolling.
5-pound density. Black foam.
Oh, good.
Maybe that'll make a difference.
You can actually get really a lot done if you dedicate an hour a day to your project. Just 1 hour.
Maybe I should be worried that I'm not worried. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe
Nothing gets done if you don't start on it. And sometimes I'll get overwhelmed. I'll be like, I got to do this and this and this and this and I'm not going to do that all today. I just go out and start working on it. It does look like Uncle Tony's backyard.
What's that?
Just the photograph.
Oh, it does look a lot like his backyard.
Somebody parked their Dart in the back of Tony's place.
Except except it's got, what is
not
that?
Not a lot, but like, reminiscent.
Yeah.
How is the differential put in a Dart? Did you inspect it? I didn't take the cover off of it. It moved the truck. So we took it out of the truck, we stuck it in a Dart, and then we drove it down the street to the grocery store a couple miles away and back. And it didn't like howl or anything like that. So it's better than what was in there. And then we realized that one of the bearings in the front wheel was just burned completely up, and we replaced that, and then it howls even less. So I think we're okay. I think it's good enough that it'll get around. We need to check the fluid level in there.
What we need to do to that rear end is drain it and put new fluid in it. Yeah. I mean, it did come from a driving truck, so that wasn't the problem with the truck. That's not what stopped it from running.
No. Dougster, it is good. Or knee pads if you know you're going to be up and down a lot, like if you're doing flooring. Get yourself a set of knee pads, and that's a big thing. I don't have bad knees. It's not like a thing that runs in my family. We have back problems, but not knee problems. So I'm grateful for that because I get around pretty good on my legs. But Clint,
What's this?
oh, it's a innuendo that
What's this?
Dougster's doing something on his knee pads
Oh,
that is amusing. That's okay. I think Dougster can take a little bit of a
that piece of
joke now and
that
then.
piece of foam I put behind my back. I have chunks of that around that I throw on the ground and kneel on it. And I've tried knee pads, but the knee pads that I had like plastic hard surfaces on them to try to absorb some of the concrete feel. And those things are so slippery they slide
Yeah,
around, and I
you
can't use them.
you
So
can't use those
I
on.
started using this foam, and it works really well.
Yeah, you
And
gotta
my
have the
knees
right
don't
kind.
hurt. My knees don't hurt.
Those are for if you're going to be sliding, like if you're playing deck hockey or something.
Oh, those things are terrible.
Cardboard's nice for in places where it's like greasy and grimy and you're going to get it dirty because then you can just throw it away when it gets too bad. And when I'm at, if I go to like what kind of store? Like a thrift store, anytime I'm at a thrift store, I'm checking to see if they have any used yoga mats for reasonable prices because they're useful. They're also useful if you're doing a little bit of repadding on a seat or seat back or something like that.
Look at that. He's right. Victoria. Not only that, I noticed the drivers on the right side. That's a 52 Ford. Or it's a 52 body and trim and everything here in the U.S. I don't know what that is in Australia. Could be probably a 52. I love the old sedan deliveries. Love to have one. Yep, Victoria plates. See, I'm reading here, but she's talking, so that's why I zoomed in just to answer the question without answering the question. I'm looking through some pictures here just to see what I come up with. What's this, Tavo? Where's that? Wheel on the correct side. I was wondering what Mexico's got big to differ. Here's another one of my favorite cars.
Some people, oh, that's a pretty car.
But you know where that is now.
Museum or something?
Resides in a museum in Pittsburgh. That is a stainless steel 36 Ford.
Oh.
The salesman drove it for years. It's got like 100,000 miles on it. It still looks like that, and it's in Pittsburgh. Well, you know how much it rusted in Pittsburgh? It didn't.
I'm sure there was rust underneath, but they probably restored it real nice.
That was Ford built some of those, and then they built.
I can't believe they built stainless steel cars in 30.
What 36? Yeah. What was this? What was the
36.
next stainless car they built? Was I know this 61 or 62 Lincoln Continental, maybe 63. One of the ones that has the backwards doors. They built some of those out of stainless. Not very many, just a few. And then, there was another stainless one. Ford did a bunch of those. People have stuck the wheel in the middle. You know, look at, what's that thing Jay Leno loves to drive around? The McLaren, steering wheels in the middle and the passengers on either side. That's kind of a pretty crazy car, though. Tucker initially planned for that in a torpedo, then went conventional. I knew that Ford built, stainless cars. Ford built 3 different stainless. I don't remember what the other one is. I think it was a Thunderbird, like maybe a 63 Thunderbird or something. I know they did a Lincoln Continental with the suicide doors, and they did this 36 Ford. And these, they built several of these. Salesmen used them, drove them up in the Northeast. One of them's in a museum in Pittsburgh. One of them's in a museum in Cleveland. I've seen both of those, but I know there's a couple more somewhere. Like the new Ford aluminum trucks scare me to death. I know things, sheet metal probably ain't much stronger, but yeah, I don't know. The thing is, aluminum corrodes differently than steel, but it corrodes badly in salt. So I don't know why. I don't know.
Well, it's initially more expensive. It's not as strong for in collisions,
Depends how thick it is.
and
Yeah, people say that, but then I work on aluminum that's stronger than steel. It's like if you use like it depends on the alloy. 7075 T651 is 71,000 pounds yield, and like mild steel, like they make fenders out of, 60,000 pounds yield. So I don't know, but it's highly corrosive. I mean, that stuff corrodes so fast. They put a coating of pure aluminum on the outside to keep the corrosion down, but it still corrodes.
yeah,
Any place they drill a hole or anything, it just gets in there. There's a lot taken off. Somebody says by lot. I guess I don't know. I missed it.
we missed it. Yeah, I think Lot was leaving. Thank you for being here.
Soybeans. Now I've seen it all. What's the soybean? Soybeans. What's he talking about? Soybeans.
It looks like a Ford plastic soybean car,
Oh, Ford.
1941.
Ford built stuff out of soybeans. Who was that? Who was the man in the South that was from Alabama? Black man in the 30s, 20s and 30s.
You're
Was
still not narrowing it down very much.
Did all the research with soybeans. Made the first plastics. A smart dude, yeah. And Henry Ford ended up hiring the guy to make deck lids and things. It was the very first plastic. Ford soybean visionary. Who is that? I should know.
I don't know. Thomas Edison and Harvey Firestone. They're not talking about
No,
this guy that
that's
you're
not
talking
that guy.
about.
Yeah, no, the guy I'm talking about. It's like he's a well-known guy.
Oh, man.
Really well-known guy. I just can't think of his name. I can't think of anybody's name. So let's see. Range Rover and Land Rover were aluminum bodied way back. Not sure if that stuff is much different to aluminum though. Some G body cutlasses came with aluminum hoods. Forrest Gump. No, no, no. That was a different black guy. He wasn't black.
I swear I remember a Volkswagen Rabbit with an aluminum bumper at one point.
Well, a lot of cars had aluminum bumpers. I think all the Fairmonts had aluminum bumpers, didn't they? I think they did. Um, yeah, I think all the Fairmonts were aluminum bumpers. Oh, Kim, I can't think of his name.
Okay, I'll do a Google search.
Yeah, he's
Say,
yeah, Henry Ford, soybean plastic, something like that. Who invented the first plastic?
Charles Harrison.
No. Go down to who invented the first plastic. I don't know if he's the first one that invented plastic. He was a professor at in Alabama. Oh,
Leo Beckland.
no.
This is riveting.
Oh, he was just extremely intelligent, forefront of the plastics industry. I can't think of his name right now. I should
George
know.
Washington Carver. Leo Beckland. Leo Hendricks.
I
Peanut
don't
Butter
know.
Man.
I'll find it by next week.
Are you sure? Because we can
Yeah,
just stop everything that we're
you're
doing
just scrolling all
and
this now.
stare at it.
I don't want to do that. Soybeans car. I bet you it's in that article. Soybeans car. Yeah.
All right, we're going to pause the stream for 20 minutes
No.
and research.
Cheech Chong made a van out of reefer. This thing's falling.
They did not.
They did some weird stuff.
KJ Kylie, welcome to the stream.
trying to deal with this. I don't know why my back started hurting, but it started hurting. Maybe that'll help. Turn it around the other way so it doesn't fall. Oh, man. It's going to drive me crazy when I can't remember stuff.
It does. It makes him mad.
Guy that was such a part of our history.
He'll stop everything we're doing. We can't move forward until we think of the thing, of the name or the thing that he wants to think of.
Because I used to remember everything, and now my brain is like
he'll get mad. He'll start slamming stuff down and yelling. He's like, I can't remember. Maybe it's not important right this second. Maybe it's not important right this second. We're okay.
Maybe it's not important.
Maybe we'll move on. You'll think of it once we're doing something else. And all this, AI just says, Henry Ford, Henry Ford. It knows the answer instantly.
And it's wrong.
It's wrong. But it can only give us the answer that it can think of quickest.
AI is mostly wrong. Because it learns from all the wrong answers.
Yeah. Whatever answer is the biggest is what the one that it gives you. It won't look into any depth. It's garbage. It's such garbage.
What the heck is that?
And it authoritatively answers wrong. That's the real problem with AI. It won't say, it might be Henry Ford. It will tell you, it's Henry Ford. It's like...
Oh, and then 50 other people repeat it. Now it knows it's right.
Yeah, now it will never tell you anything different, and it will argue. And it will only give you results that answer Henry Ford. It's like, I don't want to read about it. Someone else, please, AI. Well, there's not... Give me answers that are not. No way to do it. You used to be able to search and get good results. Not anymore. You can only get sponsored results.
Oh, here's another sedan delivery that I won't grab.
That's pretty. Is that a 57 Chevy kind of thing?
No, it's that. 50. Oh, we're not on.
We are on.
Well, we're not on the screen. It's a 56 Park Lane.
Oh, I gotta move us. This is the wrong.
I'm gonna move it up a little bit.
There you go.
It's a 56 Park Lane with some other kind of wheels on it.
Park Lane? What's a Park Lane?
It's there were two-door wagons. There was two different ranch wagons. There was a Park Lane. The Park Lane was the highest trim level.
Who's the manufacturer? Park Lane?
Ford.
Ford.
It's a 56 Ford. It's a 50. I'm sorry. It's a 56 Ford.
Man, I feel like we're struggling to communicate here.
Really?
Yeah, a little bit.
And I can see things they didn't do quite right. There's a panel right behind the bumper that's between the bumper and the grill. It should be painted silver, and it's painted the same color as the car. I've done that before, and because I thought it'd look good, and afterwards I decided I should have made it the way they did it. And then, because I had a bunch of 56 Fords, but I never had a Park Lane. Always wanted one. Oh, there's Kelsey Hayes wire wheels, like from a Chrysler product. Yeah, I had numerous 56 Ford two-door wagons, but none of mine were Park Lanes. And you can tell the Park Lanes because they had the Fairlane chrome down the side. The 56 Fords. Oh yeah, worse. Yeah. Oh yeah, and it's a sedan delivery. There was never a Park Lane sedan delivery. So somebody put Park Lane chrome on a sedan delivery, or somebody made a sedan delivery out of a two-door wagon. You're right. You're right. That's not what it was.
Blasphemous. It's terrible.
Who says this?
Me.
Oh, you did.
Yeah, it's wrong. Nobody wants that car. Get it off of my screen. Well,
somebody did it, made it look good. I got so many pictures of Fords.
Kelsey Hayes.
Here's
Kelsey
another one of my
wires. Why are we keep saying Kelsey Hayes?
Because those wheels are Kelsey Hayes wheels. They were put on Chrysler products originally, and of course then they probably bolted to Fords. Here's one of my favorite Ford products. It's actually a Mercury.
Ooh.
I like that nose. I like that sight. It's like I'm gonna aim it, you know. It's 71 Mercury. You don't like that?
It's okay.
It's okay.
Like I wouldn't kick it out of bed, but I'm not going looking for one.
I think it's a really nice looking car. I don't know. I like that front end and everything. I don't know. There's something about it. I think it looks pretty good. 75 Opel Mana for sale near me. Really A clean 75 mana, man, that's gotta be, you gotta get it. Just do whatever it takes. Get that thing. Yeah.
Listen to you telling
Man,
somebody else to buy a car.
get that thing.
Oh,
Well, there's so
man.
few of them, and there's so few of them, and there's probably one in the whole country that's clean. Covered headlights. Great. I don't know if you like that or not, but I just think the front end looks so good. I remember those things in '71 NASCAR. You know, they were driving those things. It was like, wow, look at that. Back when NASCAR was actually a stock car, not a tubing car with a plastic body on it. The excessive nose look never seemed to like a, excuse me, I got the hiccups, like a good idea. Man, an Opel Manta. Yeah, I've looked and looked and looked for Opel Mantas. Now I can't afford anything, but I can't find them. They're just nowhere to be found. Oh, I see so many old cars that look cool. How many of you remember the Subaru vans from the late 60s? Subaru vans from the late 60s? And then somebody lowered it and put different wheels on it, different bumper. Those little tiny things. I remember they were under 1,000 pounds. They weighed 997 pounds.
Are you for real?
And therefore, they didn't need to conform to any safety devices. No seat belts, no smog, no nothing. 2-cylinder engine in the back. That's a Bunky beak. You're probably right. Bunky Knudsen, or Bunky, yeah, Knudsen, I think is how he pronounced it. He brought the beak. He brought the beak to Ford. And he wasn't there for very long. He was the one that brought Larry Shinoda, though, which is really good for Ford. Larry Shinoda is a great designer. I'm really glad that that never happened. Yeah, I'll put the Cyclone looks better than the Subaru. I don't like the Subaru a whole lot. Okay, there. Aussie 4s and Valiant's Kelsey Hayes calipers late in the 60s and early 70s made under license by Gerlach. Is that the same? See, my Corvette had Gerlach brakes, I think. Were those Kelsey Hayes under license? I don't know. I know they didn't stop as well as the newer cars with disc brakes. I never liked the brakes on the C4 Corvettes. Last thing you need is another project. What do they want? Hey, Clint, what do they want for that that Opal? Like I can afford an Opal.
It'll be so cheap that you'll want to go get it.
I want to go get it if it's cheap. Yeah, I think my '87 Corvette had Girling brakes. I think. I know it was something unusual. Fiat Multipla.
All right, I finished my earlier drink, and then I also prepared because I like on Tuesday nights it's special. We have snacks and beverages. We don't drink alcohol, so I can justify spending a little extra
what
money.
What is that?
Something good. This is ice cream.
I can't eat that.
Yes, it is ice cream. And then I bought Frosty brand vanilla root beer. I've never had it. Let's hope it's good.
Are you gonna open it?
I'm gonna make a root beer float.
I was gonna say open it, sip it a little bit, so you understand what it is before you dump it. Before you dump it in the ice cream, and when you put that in ice cream, you know it's gonna foam all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Is that good?
The
Frosty?
foam is the best part.
Is my snack in the mail? We're gonna send Mexican Specs
It's
like a
made with cane sugar.
glass full of ice cream.
Mexican Spec your snacks in the mail. You'll get it in 6 to 9 months through the Mexican postal system.
$700.
Oh man.
Oh man. Which marketplace? I'll find it.
Is it got a title?
Oh,
Did it
God.
run when parked?
What bill am I not going to pay so I can go get it? Oh, man. I want that car. Oh. What year did the vet get LED instrument cluster? 74. The 73 Corvette, which was, people say there wasn't one, they were like low teens that GM had as pilot run cars, and there's one left in the Corvette Museum. And it really had the first one, but it was the first one available to the public was the 84 Corvette. And they had a non electronic dash that is also in the Corvette Museum that had mechanical gauges. And if they couldn't get that to work right reliably, they were going to go with one with the mechanical gauges. So I've seen that one in the Corvette Museum. Their second choice.
Dougster approved. You know what? I'm okay with this Frosty's vanilla root beer. It's good. Mm-hmm.
$700. I bet nobody's going to buy that. I could just go over there and offer them like $400 or $500 for it.
Now I think you're getting greedy.
8 lug Pontiacs, I remember those things. They had lug nuts way out around here to the drums. So, titles must be a pain over there. Here, if you buy a car with no history, you just take it in for an ID inspection, and if it comes up not stolen, they'll write, oh man, would that be nice? Yeah, here, you get like a dead car, you know. There were ways to do it, but there probably are still some ways to do it, but not without a big hassle, you know. Yeah, it's a Blue Man in Alabama. Oh, it's Alabama? For $700? He's not in Alabama, but he's close to there. It's basically like that here in Tennessee. Really? I bet it's the same. What are the chances of being 2 Opel Manas for $700? It's an Opel Manta for $700. What do you do with one? They had decent engines in it. You just rebuild the thing, or put an LS. They're rear drive cars.
My question to you is, would you rather build that or the Studebaker?
Oh, both.
Can't be both.
Of course, it can be both. Needs a V6 turbo. Yeah, V6 turbo would be okay too. Yeah, $700. That's one raffle. You know, I used to buy raffle tickets at the Corvette Museum. I can't afford that anymore. I used to buy expensive raffle tickets there. You know, they'd given away a Corvette, and they'd have a limited number of tickets, and they were really expensive. So the chances of winning are much higher. And yeah, I bought a couple of those over the years, back when I had money. I had a good job. I didn't really have money. Need a special adapter to balance the 8-lug wheel, or use Dyna beads. Well, there's an on-car balancer that you grab little discs and it moves the weights around. I don't know if you ever seen one of those. We used to use those on cars like that. Mexican spec says Opel Rattletrap. Yeah, but I like the Manas. I don't care. I think those early Opels, like the Manas and the GTs, that was the best of the Opels. That's what I think.
What year are we talking about?
That one is a 70. I think you said a 74. 74 Opel Manta. You've looked this up before.
I know, but I want to put it up there since we're lusting about it. I want to at least have a picture of one up.
Levi says I can send you that ad if you want. I think I have. Came on Facebook.
Oh, we can find it. We know how to use Facebook.
Yeah, you could go to Marketplace and look for
No.
Opel Manta 'Cause there's a good reason. Why? We'd say that when we were kids. 'Cause. Man, that was the end of the argument. That's when my parents won the argument. Immediately. Because. Because there's an answer. You go to your room. Be quiet. Don't ever say that again.
Dang. Parents were mean.
No, we learned that you couldn't win an argument, but when your parents told you to do something, you had to do it. And you go, I don't want to do it. Why? Because. Or my brother Jerry. Well, Jerry did it.
I don't think that's.
Here we go. We got another car. Another Ford product. I sent it anyway. It's too late. Kim, it got sent to you.
Thank you.
I lost my cursor. Where the heck is it? Here it is. You ever do that? Can't find your cursor? Oh, I'm showing it like they're looking at it. They're looking at ovals. I have a KC to send it. Okay. I like that because of the. A lot of people won't like it because they painted the bumper, but I like it because they did paint the bumper.
That scoop looks strangely out of place.
It's actually a factory scoop, I think.
It's kind of weird.
I did the Alabama registration on a few cars when I was in Vegas. They didn't have titles. Well, the good one for a while was what, Vermont, somewhere up there, but they changed that. Got all over the internet. Everybody knew about it, and they had to change something. Well, because what happened was the criminals started using it. There's something flying around here. I got it. Tired of that moth flying around in front of our face. She's gone. You can do a notarized BOS. What's a BOS?
Bill of sale.
Oh, bill of sale. And a VIN inspection by a POSI, by a police officer in Tennessee will issue a title. Really? We're in Tennessee? Yeah, maybe I can do that. Then, yeah.
To begin that process, you have to trust that the seller knows that there's not a problem.
didn't sell you a stolen car.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you have to have some assurances because that process won't be super easy. I mean, it's doable. If the car is worth something, generally we're dealing in sub-$1,000 cars. It's not worth the hassle.
You'll say a red car calls attention, but a yellow car screams for attention. Yeah. And lime green ones really scream for attention. Man, it was a one-year color 2011 Camaro, which was a really bright green. Man, those things, you could see them coming down the road a couple miles ahead of you. And those things really attract attention. Take the VIN to the police station to check it out. Well, yeah, what if it's stolen? There you are going, well, where's the car? I don't know. No, I don't have it.
I will. I'll be like, I saw it on Facebook Marketplace. Yeah. This is the guy's name.
Let's see. I caught my yellow truck. I intended to paint it. Then I couldn't because big yellow truck made people happy. Cool, there's no reason it should be a pain in the ass. Damn bureaucracy. Yeah, bureaucracy.
Where have I seen? I've seen it in Kentucky. If a car isn't registered for a really long time, they will junk the title, and then it can't be re-registered in Kentucky again. They're starting to do weird things where, like, if you're not paying regularly to them, they're not maintaining records, and they will.
Mexican Spec says you tell them where the car is. Car's in my driveway.
Yeah, you better make sure it's not in your driveway already.
Yeah. Let's see. It was once a Mass Pike service truck, too, so if I stopped to help people, they'd be reassured. Man, Massachusetts looks like a big state. And the first time I went to Massachusetts, I was across the state. Like, what happened? And I went across the long way. It's like, man, that went by in a hurry. I was already all the way in the East Coast. That's just my first time driving in New England. It's just like, wow, states are small. I was used to driving across, like California, and Arizona, and Wyoming, Nebraska. These big states. Oh, Montana, Texas, then Massachusetts. Like the junk title in any state, it can be registered in any state. Try to register it in another state, they will contact the previous state before issuing a title. You know what happens? People get stuff like that, and then it gets passed to somebody else, and they start parting it out, and it gets passed to somebody else. They start parting it out a little more, and pretty soon there's no history. And it's like, oh man, no salvage title, no history, no nothing. And I kind of avoid those cars. We've got everything around here. She got, I think, has titles on it.
We have titles and everything here.
But if you check before you buy it, not after.
I
Yeah.
figure part of the cost of buying a vehicle is the title. If you're buying a vehicle without title, you better not pay more than it's worth in parts because you might have to part it.
I've never even heard of a non-repairable title. Didn't know there was such a thing.
Yeah, there's non-repairables and there's
I never heard of
scrap
that.
titles. Scrap titles are not the same as salvage, and they will not let you bring a car back from scrap because they know. See, that's the thing is they know that otherwise people will just collect VIN numbers, and they will sell just the VIN plates
So what
to
happens
people,
is,
and they don't
so what
want to
happens
do
is, all the cheaters and the criminals ruin it for all the people that want to actually do something worthwhile, as usual. Yeah.
Well, is it New York? The computer has to match the VIN too.
What's this? That idiot Tavares paid hundreds of thousands of dollars for a McLaren flood car with a junk title. So what can he do with that? Take it apart.
Sell it in parts.
I don't know.
I think I did see some of that. I watched some of that video. He had done all the work to fix a bunch of stuff and then realized that he can't get it titled.
I don't watch him a lot, but I do watch him sometimes. He and he got that Tesla from Rich Rebuilds, the one with the Chevy in it, has a LS engine in it. That must be fun. Yeah, I don't know what I've never run into a non-repairable title. Never run into that. Okay, so the Laguna has 4 titles. I have 3 of the 4. Those are not the most current, so I can't register the Laguna without getting court ordered.
Yikes!
And it's a race car, so you probably never plan on driving it on the street anyway.
Yeah, but you like to have title to
Yeah,
a car.
you like to have car title. Idaho, they just passed a law that you have to have a title to take it to a recycler or junkyard. California used to be like that. I don't know how it is now.
It's like that in Pennsylvania.
It saves a lot of them, but it's impossible to get rid of them as well. Yeah, I had a car that was all messed up, and I was really having a hard time getting rid of it. And I knew the history of it, but of course the wrecking yard didn't. And it was in Ohio, and finally they just took it. They probably cut it up, probably quickly cut it up. It was a Honda. It's a Honda Civic that had it many years old. They probably just cut it into little pieces. That's what I guess they did.
Crush it.
Yeah. Well, once they crush it, then it's still one piece. That's right. I knew a guy that had a Falcon. Man, back this in the '60s, he had a Falcon wagon, and it had a straight axle on the front, so it sit real high in the front. It had a small block, either 289 or 260 in it, and it was a gasser. And he raced it and he flipped it over, and then out in his backyard, he was out there one day with a cutting torch, and he cut it all into little pieces. Had a pile of pieces, and every week he'd throw a couple pieces in the dumpster until it was gone. I'm like, yeah, there's probably no title on that thing. In Oregon, you don't have to search anything to do a lien sale. You can just get a VIN inspection with the lien sale paperwork, and they'll send you a title. Did you have to try to find the old owner? Like in California, I did a lien sale one time, and it's like I had to try to find the old owner. What a pain in the ass. Oh, it was like never-ending paperwork. I finally gave up. Sold the car and handed all the big wad of paperwork to somebody else. The car probably never got registered. It was a 56 Ford that was been abandoned for like 20 years. It's like nobody cares about that thing. In Nevada, I had a car that was not in our computer. I had to search the 6 surrounding states. But in Oregon, they told me it was my problem if the old owner comes back on me. Really? Yeah, well, you say lien sales were easy, but you used to do lien sales. I was like a 17-year-old kid that bought a 56 Ford. I was trying to fix it, and it just was never-ending paperwork. And I'd go into the DMV. Of course, I didn't know what I was doing. And the person there, you got to do this and this and this. I go out and try to do it and come back, and you didn't get this right, or you still have to get, you had to have proof you mailed out letters to people that were, I don't even remember all the whole thing. And finally, I just gave up because I was 17 and I just wanted to go get a license plate, and I didn't know what I was doing.
All you got to do is follow the rules.
Follow the rules, yeah. Like
That's
I'll tell you what I figured out about California.
Anybody can get rich. All you have to do is work hard.
Leave the state of California, and your life will be like, whoo, big load off my mind. We did lien sales all the time at the tow company I worked at. Had a company like yours. Yeah, yeah. When I worked for a couple of tow truck towing companies, and I know they had lien sales going, and they had a woman that did that stuff. But that was after I was had all the hell that I went through with that 56 Ford. I did it mostly for auto shops. A lot of cars got left there from all 50 states and Canada because they broke down there, lost their money in a casino, and left the car. I could see people doing that. What do you got going there? Oh, you're bringing it up. The poll. We're gonna do that tonight. Mexican Spec wants us to leave it up. I think it was you wanted us to leave it up until No Name Nationals. I mean, we can do that, but we're going to make the decision tonight because only one of those cars are we going to be able to get it ready. So Kim's is ahead. She's 55%.
Woohoo!
Mine's 45%. So
mine's better.
So the Dart will get some effort put on it over the next few weeks, and it'll be going to No Name Nationals.
I have mixed feelings about that too because like the Valiant needs some stuff, and like I'd like to be able to. What we're gonna do is we're gonna double down and pour into one of the vehicles instead of trying to work on both, right? And we got to get tires. We have brakes.
Brakes.
I need to change the oil. I need to. What else do I need to do on that car to have it ready? Check all the fluids.
We got to do the front end's got some loose upper inner shaft bushings or something.
I don't want to have to do
upper inners are not a big deal. Lower inners are a bitch.
Yeah,
you know that.
It probably needs both. I don't think we're gonna do all that before No Name Nationals, but we got to get it so that it can go on the highway and go down the road straight enough to be safe. So.
Tavo said when he was voted, it was 50-50. My vote made it up to 50. Okay, yeah, and right now, there it is right now, 55-45, with how many votes? 44 votes? I thought it had more than that. Can you refresh it?
I just brought it up. It's not
How come
old.
it says 44 votes and Tavo said he was 50? Because I thought it was 50 something.
Okay, I'll hit refresh, but this isn't an old computer. 44 votes.
It says 44.
I don't know. People unvoted, I guess.
Really?
I don't know.
I voted
66 is a really
my
cute
vote
car.
made it up to 50. See, I thought it was over 50, but I may be wrong. What's the other vote? Which Allen wrenches do you prefer? That was 54 votes. I don't know.
Maybe you're just mistaken.
I'm digging the 66. The 66. Oh, the Dart, yeah.
Thank you. Actually, the value, I really did want to take the value down the track. We did all that work building that motor, and that motor's pretty torquey.
Yeah, Mexican spec with no smog test. You got to move to Tennessee. There's never a smog test.
They don't smog
They don't
test
even
them.
know what smog is.
Oh,
It's smog. Nobody don't even know what that word is. It's
that like
emissions,
clouds?
and there's no emissions test. There's no test or anything. In Idaho, we have 3 good-sized Indian reservations that are pretty good hunting grounds for old cars and trucks, but it's very rare to get a title. So we learned quite a few legal tricks to do. Yes, if you're going to do that thing, if you're going to do that, you're going to have to learn that stuff. But there's enough cars around with titles that I mean, care to do it. Yeah, who voted for the Valiant? Raise your hand. I did. What I meant was my vote took it from 52-40 to 50-50. Okay. I don't think I voted yet. Couldn't make up my mind. We learned in Vegas to never but never finance somebody from the reservation. Car disappears into thin air. Yeah, it's its own nation. I know there were issues with that in Arizona too. Oh God, my back's killing me. Why is my back hurting? Why is my back hurting? Levi's backyard performance taking off. Take care. What am I looking for here? 9:14. Okay, we're like 2 hours and 15 minutes. If you know that on all transfers of ownership, you have to smog the vehicle. I found a loophole. Oh, I see. Yeah, out there you do. On most states you do. Well, in California, it's a transfer. When you transfer, you have to. I don't know how Nevada is. And Arizona, you only have to do that in Phoenix or Tucson, which is actually those 2 counties, which is Maricopa County and whatever county Tucson's in. But the rest of the state, you don't. Yeah, I remember when I first registered the Corvette, and it was a California car, and I brought it into Arizona. I bought it in California, so it was in somebody else's name, brought the title in, and it cost me $5. I got a license plate, and I drove off. It's like, I can't believe this. No test, no nothing, just $5. But it's gone up now. It's more than that now, but still. That was in 2007. It was $5. Just ordered a title only. It just happened to have. Oh, I see. Oh, yeah. So you had title. Yeah, it's like some places are title and registration are separate. Here it is, but you go to the same place. Then in Ohio, you go to the title office for the title. Then you got to go to the license bureau for the license. So it's 2 steps. Roadside emission checkpoint was the final straw for me leaving California. California just. I got caught in a California roadside inspection. I've told people about this. I pull in there, and the first guy wants to see my license, registered, all the paperwork. So I take off my seatbelt, and I take my wallet out, and I hand him my driver's license. He writes me a ticket for not having a seatbelt on. It's like, what? You saw me take the seatbelt off. He goes, no, I didn't. You didn't have it on. It's like a bunch of Gestapos. A Vista Cruiser. Oh, an '85 Vista Cruiser. Okay, not the good Vista Cruiser. At a tow yard lien sale. It was a California car, so I took it back and made a lot of money. Huh. Okay, so you got to refresh that again because somebody just voted.
But I don't want to refresh it again.
Okay, and then we're gonna call it. We're calling it anyway. Oh, it's even more now. You won even more.
Okay. I win.
Okay, you're
We're
gonna.
taking the 66 Dart to No Name Nationals this year.
I don't know
please.
how to shut. Okay, so we're making the decision now. It doesn't matter how people vote. County registration
We've
paper
officially
is
finished.
essentially the title, but it does state on the papers that they are not proof of ownership. Really? Dr. Go just finished my outdoor trailer wiring project. Oh, isn't that fun? Darn critters. Even got inside the tongue tube and chewed wires and oh man. I used to work on
Glad to hear it's
airplanes.
working now. That's great. But mice suck. That green truck that I've been working on reviving, all the wires in the back are all chewed up, and I had to replace all the sensor wires and stuff. It was all. They like the tingle.
There was a doctor that bought an airplane from the company I worked for. And within a couple of months he's complaining. It had electric trim, which is a thing that moves a little trim tab in the back. It's electric. And he's pissed off because it doesn't. It quit working, or he's all upset. And he had his own runway, airport, and everything. So they sent me over there. I got out there, looked up inside to see where the wires were. There's a big old mouse nest up in there, and the wires are chewed through. You know what? That's not our fault. He looked in there. He couldn't believe it. Well, he lived out in the country and left the airplane parked out on a dirt runway. You know what happens? Mice went in there. Didn't take long. Never had an issue with stolen stuff on the res, but this, yeah, I never knew about stolen stuff, but I knew there was stuff that was the titles and everything all messed up. Okay, so we got to get serious about the Dart.
I got to get the dash put back together. We had the dash pad lying around here somewhere. It never got covered. I was supposed to do that over
It
the
was
winter.
it was on this thing, but
Well, I had to clean up the studio so we
Is
could
it
start
down there?
streaming. No, I
Yeah.
think it's in the other. It's in the bedroom.
in the
I had to get it out of here. There's too much stuff in here.
too much crap.
And the seat has a big hole in it. I'm gonna have to fix the front seat because I
You
don't
don't
want
get a
anything to
Mexican
rot around
blanket.
in
Put
there.
a Mexican blanket over
No,
the seat.
I need to do a little more than just put a blanket over it. I don't know. Maybe we'll see how much time we have.
See how
with
much
it.
time we have. Yeah.
But yeah, it's more important that it runs and drives reliably. But we're gonna have to start driving it around.
Yeah,
Put
some
some
miles on.
it,
Yep,
'cause
just
that's when you'll shake it.
yeah. Make
the
sure
car
it
out.
starts and runs every time, and the
Yeah,
brakes work on both
yeah,
sides.
because we want to drive it out there. I don't want to tow it. We could tow it, but I
Yeah,
don't
but
want
then what do you get? You got a car that you not even good enough to drive on the street. You're gonna race it,
that, and I hardly trust a trailer to go that far.
Yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do there. Oh, my back is killing me. Why is my back bothering me? I don't know what's going on.
Well,
It just aches.
If
That's
you're
all.
worn out, we don't have to keep going.
Well, what time is it?
Oh, it's been over 2 hours.
2 hours and 20 minutes. I don't know. We call it early tonight.
We can if your back's bothering you.
My back is killing me. Mexican
These
blanket.
guys know how to entertain themselves.
Are we
They can
gonna-
catch up on their other
We're gonna
content.
have this argument again. What's the argument?
Something about Mexican blankets.
What's an argument about a Mexican blanket? I didn't know there was an argument.
I don't know. What's the wheelbase of a Dodge Dart? Talking about arguments.
A Mexican blanket, that so many of them now are not. I did buy one that's made in Mexico that's around here, which I
Yeah.
really like. But I've bought them before they're made in China, and that pisses me off. But the Mexican ones that look like the style of Mexican blankets that are made in Mexico, and I know a couple places that have them in Arizona, and that's where I have bought them more recently. Just north of Tucson, there's a place, big store. It's a gas station, but right adjacent to the gas station is a huge store. They've got all kinds of Native American stuff and Mexican stuff, and they're not in, their stuff isn't imported from China, and that's a store I really like. So why is Mexican blanket
Well,
an
let's.
argument?
Oh, the striped blankets are.
On Mexican blankets, the Mexican blankets have a tiger on it.
Wait,
I don't know.
Okay.
The ones that I got some that were like I don't know if they're straight stripes, but this kind of stripes, and it says right in there, H1 Mexico. And it's like, okay, that's the one I'll buy. The ones from China are really stiff and they're not comfortable and they're just junk. Garage titles.
Easier to get than people think.
Yeah, another thing happens in these motor vehicle departments. It depends on who you get. Some people just enjoy giving you a hard time, and other people kind of work with you and try to make stuff work. So, and I've had both. I terrible stories about it.
We forgive you this time, Dr. Go, because you got something done. Don't just be lazy and not show up for the stream. But if you're busy working, it's excusable.
She's ambitious.
I am.
Atlanta Custom Classics just popped in. We're talking about leaving, and he just popped in, but we might leave early tonight because
You may have to
I'm
just
hurting.
rewatch.
I don't know why my back is.
He needs a break.
My back
It's
is
sympathy
just
pains
killing
for
me.
Uncle Tony.
I don't know why my
There's
back
something in
is
the
like
air this time of year, I suppose. All right, everyone. We've put in our requisite couple of hours for Tuesday night. We may, depending on how I recover from my shots tomorrow, we'll be back as soon as we can be. We're going to have visitors on Saturday. Rick from RC Industries and a friend are going to pay us a visit, so we should hopefully have some interesting content coming because visits are always nice like that. So we look forward to seeing you all again next Tuesday and towards working towards more things.
Bruce
And,
is here.
you know how to get in touch with Buff Del Campo if you need anything for us. You want to give your email address again?
BuffDelCampo@gmail.com.
If you need to get in
And I
touch.
do look at it.
Oh, yeah. He looks forward to stuff like that.
Not like Uncle Tony, because Uncle Tony gets like
He
like
doesn't do that
100,000
stuff.
emails, and then he can't. He can't.
We're
possibly
small
look at them all.
beans, so we can still
Yep, I
do that kind of stuff, and we enjoy it. So, Barrows, thank you. The shots will go okay. It's very unpleasant
And
for about 3 minutes,
Just
and then it's
so
over.
everybody knows, I drive her there, so she doesn't have to drive home. And
He looks out for me. He'll make sure I'm okay. I feel confident that it's going to be all right. My new remote control trolling motor is amazing. Oh, congratulations! I'm glad you're enjoying your boat. And we're going to see you all later. Thank you